funny.
Okay. Yay. Finally, we got it working. Perfect. Welcome,
Awesome.
Stephen. So glad to have you on.
Thank you so very much. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. I'm glad we got it all figured out. This is always a good learning experience, but a little stressful in the midst of it. But no, thank you for taking your time to join us today. And I know all the information that you're going to share today is going to be super, super impactful for everyone on. And because, stress is all around us. And I know even the World Health Organization has said that stress is the health epidemic of the 21st century. And stress is linked to just about every physical, mental, emotional health condition that we're facing today in our world. And I know breath work is a powerful tool that we can use to reduce stress and change our thought patterns and calm our mind and body and start to heal and restore. And so I'd love to start off by you telling us your story. Like, I read everyone your bio and I sent it out, but I'd love to hear it from you. How did you end up in Thailand and discover breath work? Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, this is a pretty wild story, actually. It all started when my mother passed away. So my mother died. She had diabetes, and it was a series of unfortunate circumstances that unfortunately I am legally not allowed to talk about, but she lost her life due to other epidemics that are happening in the world today. And it was not her, it was other sources. So she died very spontaneously, and it destroyed me. Absolutely destroyed me. And I had already had a corporate job. I was a building engineer and a property manager in Denver, Colorado. And I had formed a pretty heavy drinking problem. And when my mother died, I had a reason to drink. And so there went the downward spiral, and it became very aggressive. And then a year after that, my fiance had a heart attack. 28 years old, had a heart attack. And so at this point, I didn't really know what to do. And so she decided to go to Thailand to do a 30-day yoga retreat. And I supported her. I stayed in America. She went to try and heal her heart because she's not into Western medicine. Neither one of us are. And I actually got a DUI. And while she was in Thailand. And she calls me 2 days before I got my DUI. She called me and said, I want to move to Thailand. I don't want to live in America anymore. I want to heal my heart, and I want to do it from a small island in Thailand. And I said, wonderful. Just come home. We'll get everything figured out. And 2 days later, I got a DUI. And legally, I'm not allowed to leave the country if you have a DUI for 2 years. And so my life was destroyed. I was convinced that my fiance, my future wife, was going to leave me. And anyway, but it ended up being a blessing because I had been speaking to my mother spiritually, asking her to help me with my drinking and to help me get rid of it. Little did I know it was going to come through this way. And so I was put on monitored sobriety, and I quit drinking for 6 months straight, not a single drop. And I prayed to her every single day to help me out and to get me out of this case so that I could support my fiance and move to Thailand. And sure enough, after 5 months, somehow the case got dismissed. No one could quite figure out why. There just wasn't enough information, and the case got dismissed. So 2 weeks after that, we sold all of our things, my business, our cars, we had a penthouse apartment. We were living the corporate dream with fancy cars and fancy houses and toys and a lot of drinking and drugs as well. But anyway, so we moved to Thailand, and then so that's when I fell into a very deep state of depression. And that was the thing that blew my mind.
So that happened once you got to Thailand, like it was back in the States, it was the drinking kind of like numbing your emotions. And then you get to Thailand and you just being out of your environment and not having that crutch of alcohol, you fall into a depression.
Yeah, and it took me a long time to figure it out, but I truly believe it was because I was so attached to my identity. And when I lost my identity, I was trying to become like everyone else. I wanted to be a yogi, and I wanted to wear all white and dance around the fire and do pujans, which is beautiful, but it wasn't necessarily me. And so I had no identity. And that loss of identity, which a lot of us attach to our identities, once I separated from my identity, then I became very depressed and actually became suicidal. And yeah, and it wasn't until I got introduced to Soma breath. So I went, that it like changed my life. Soma breath saved me. And I had done yoga teacher trainings, meditation trainings. I'd done detoxes, nutrition trainings. Nothing was working. Soma breath and breathing practices right then and there changed my life right before my eyes. And that's when I knew.
That's amazing. And I know, in Thailand, at least certain places, like there's a lot of that over there. There's the yoga, there's the meditation, there's breath, there's all of these different practices. And so it sounds like you were surrounded by a lot of it, and your fiance was doing, in this yoga. Was she still in like a yoga instruction course or anything like that? Was that what she was doing full time? Okay.
Yeah, when we both moved out there, we took our entire life savings and invested in everything we could possibly find to try and find other forms of healing so that we could help people, one, not have a heart attack, and two, not die from these illegitimate diseases like diabetes that are just an epidemic that actually aren't legitimate, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're totally, just I used to work in pharmaceutical sales, and I sold diabetes drugs.
Really?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. And I saw firsthand the like serious missing piece in the whole process of conventional medicine when, I was selling cholesterol drugs and acid reflux drugs and diabetes drugs, and not once is like lifestyle being addressed, and nutrition being addressed. And all of these are lifestyle conditions. Like they're preventable, they're reversible, right? And the medications are simply kind of putting a Band-Aid on the symptom, and this. Absolutely. So I love that you guys went over there and started to search for alternative healing methods to really restore the body at the root of the issue. But I find it so interesting that, you were doing all of this yoga and meditation, and you were just still in a very deep, dark place. And I find that a little refreshing too, because I think the perception is that if you're doing all those things, you should be great, and when you're not, you start to think, what the heck is wrong with me? Like, what is missing? What am I not doing right? Like, am I just, am I broken? Is this a lost cause? And then all of those thoughts start to feed, more of the same stuff. And so I love that, you share that openly, and the fact that too, you didn't stop searching, and you found something that worked for you, because just because yoga works for one person doesn't mean it's the right solution for you, and same with other therapies. There's a lot of alternative therapies out there. Some people love emotional freedom techniques. Some people love meditation. Some people love journaling, but really figuring out what works for you and really what makes the biggest impact in a very healthy way. And so you found Soma. How did you find Soma breathwork?
Actually, my best friend came to visit me in Thailand, and we were looking for a dinner, and we decided to go to this vegan buffet at a movie theater. It's the only theater on the island, and it's not like a conventional movie theater at all. It's like cushions and blankets and pillows. And anyway, the restaurant was closed. And while we were leaving, Patty, my fiance, saw that there was on their schedule that there was a multi-sensory meditation movie night going on in like an hour. And so she basically drugged me there, kicking and screaming. I was like, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. And it was a multi-dimensional meditation. So I wanted to like set my space and be ready to go on this journey and all of these things. And so I was very, very frustrated and did not want to go at all. And she stood strong and said, no, I want to go to this. And I said, all right, fine. And I'll follow her if she puts her foot down. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we did. We checked it out. And Niraj, the founder of SOMA, was hosting a movie night, a multi-sensory meditation movie night where you watched hypnofractals on a big screen and you put on these wireless headphones and actually did a guided breathwork meditation while watching the hypnofractals on the big screen. And it was right then and there. It was after the session, I looked over, Patty was crying, and not this emotional release. It's because she understood her mother's cancer. She got it. She had a serious download. I saw a glimmer of light into a very dark tunnel that I had been journeying down for 6 months. And it was that little glimpse of light that showed me that, oh, I can go back. I can make a shift. This is it. This is happening right in front of me right now. And so we basically just went to Niraj after the event, and I said, I have to know more. I have to know more. And it wasn't 5 days, I think, after that movie that he hosted his very first SOMA teacher training. And my fiance was part of it. I was part of it. Her sister was part of it. My best friend was part of it. We had about 10 or 12 people, I think 15 actually, that all went through this teacher training. And a year and a half later, I believe, we now have hundreds of instructors around the world. We have a SOMA studio here in Encinitas that I've just opened. Our online teacher training platform has just exploded and grown. We have such an amazing community that is growing and expanding. And so it's really, really beautiful to just see the evolution of SOMA happen over the last couple of years.
That's amazing. And yeah, little backstory for everybody watching. I met Stephen in Encinitas, California. It's in the San Diego area, and it's, my husband and I go out there a couple times a year and spend some time there. And that's where I first discovered, I actually discovered a couple forms of breath work out there that we tried out, but both my husband and I just fell in love with SOMA breathwork, which we're going to talk about in more detail, like what is it and all of that. But yeah, I went to one of Stephen's classes and it was incredible. It was just such an amazing experience. And so I want to talk specifically about SOMA because there's a lot of different breathing techniques out there, especially, in yoga. And I mean, like just some of the ones that I've come across are like, obviously like the deep abdominal breathing, and then the box breath where you breathe in, you hold, you breathe out, you hold. I know Dr. Andrew Weil is a big fan of what he calls the 4-7-8 breath, where you breathe in for 4, you hold for 7, you breathe out for 8. And then there's like some more intense forms of therapeutic breath work or journey breath work like holotropic and Wim Hof, and then SOMA. And so I'd like for you to explain, first of all, what is SOMA and how did it originate? And then also what makes it different from all of these other types of breath work?
Beautiful. So the beautiful thing about SOMA is that we are trained in the science behind pranayama. So SOMA is a series of different pranayama techniques that have been paired and pieced together for the optimum therapeutic and like effects on your physiology. It's also going to optimize your mental and physical health. And the cool thing is that we dive deep into the science of what changes are happening inside of your body. And this is the differentiator. I mean, this leads right into your second question. This is the biggest differentiator in other breathwork modalities, is that they're taking you through these breathwork journeys, but they don't understand or know. And I'm making a bold statement. Some might have the knowledge, and I hope that they do. But the thing that I want to do is bring awareness to not only participants and students, but also instructors and teachers that are out teaching breathwork. Do you know what's happening to the body? Do you know what's happening to the physiology? These people are having these profound emotional releases, and they're screaming or hysterically laughing or crying hysterically. But what did it take to get there? And those have negative effects over a long period of time on your nervous system, on your brain activity, teaching yourself how to breathe incorrectly. And so this is really kind of one of the things that hits closest to home for me is really trying to bring awareness. So the most revered for SOMA is the SOMA Awakening Breathwork Journey. And what that is it's a series of rhythmical breathing patterns that are in through the nose and out through the mouth. When you breathe in a rhythm, our entire bodies work off of rhythms. So you have your circadian rhythms, your sleeping patterns, circulatory rhythms, cardiovascular rhythms, your heart rate, digestive. I mean, all of the body works off of rhythms. So if we're not breathing in a rhythm, then we're not being conducive to the natural rhythms that are designed for our body from the moment of time. And so what we do is we really go back to the origins of pranayama. When it's not Americanized or changed, what we've done is we've pieced together brainwave entrainment music that the founder, Niraj Nak is the founder of SOMA, and he is a music producer. And it has a deep passion for music. So what we've done is we've paired different pranayams, modalities, and techniques together in a ceremonial type experience. And we've pieced it together with this brainwave trip neural entrainment type music that really helps you drop into like a deep theta alpha brainwave state that is going to really expand your consciousness and help you really stay focused. And the cool thing is that nowadays, science is following the benefits of breathing and what it does to the body. And this is quite the most amazing thing for me, is to have learned the science behind breathing. And like Jen, what you experienced was the awakening. Mm-hmm. And that, again, is like our most revered. So you breathe in a rhythm. Every time you breathe in, your heart rate slightly goes up. Every time you breathe out, your heart rate slightly goes down. Every time you breathe in, sympathetic nervous system. You breathe out, parasympathetic nervous system. So when you breathe in the same amount in as you do out, what you're doing is you're balancing the two nervous systems. And this is creating what's called coherence. It's basically a harmony that is created in the body. You're optimizing blood flow and circulation. You actually can control your heart rate. Because if you breathe in and your heart rate goes up and you breathe out and your heart rate goes down, well, if you can change the rate of your breathing, then you can actually change your heart rate. So this is just a powerful way to find what we call coherence. This is going to give you energy, but also allow you to stay super focused. And doing this for just a few minutes a day can be very, very beneficial. Not only this, but if there's one thing that you guys take with you today, it's be conscious of your breathing. Don't shallow breathe and don't rapid breathe or erratic breathing. Erratic breathing, which is a lot of what these other breathwork modalities are doing, there's no rhythm. There's no consistency. And so it's erratic. If you have erratic breathing patterns, you're going to have erratic thoughts, because your thoughts and your breathing are directly connected. Same thing. If you get scared, what do? You take a deep breath in and you hold. So the thoughts are all, and the breathing are all connected. So erratic thoughts lead to erratic breathing leads to erratic thoughts. Erratic thoughts are going to lead to erratic emotions. And your emotional state is basically how you view and perceive the world around you. And so we need to bring harmony back to what we truly are. And that is harmonic. I'm sorry, one second. Apparently somebody's cutting down a tree outside of my studio.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Good timing.
And that's the other thing, is that the next phase of SOMA is what we call kumbhaka, and it's breath retention. And Nishisha Rashaka Kumbhaka is holding your breath out past the comfort zone. And when you do this, what you're doing is you're simulating high altitude training. So the rishis and athletes all around the world have gone to the top of the Himalayas and top of these mountains to train in high altitude training, because they become so efficient. Their stamina and endurance is increased tenfold. Well, the thing is that you don't have to climb to the top of a mountain to do it. You can do it sitting in your home or in a studio, or we do it here online. All you have to do is hold your breath out. And this is called intermittent hypoxia. And the health benefits of intermittent hypoxia are outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. This is how you become superhuman, because you're training your body to having less oxygen, and you start to balance the carbon dioxide levels. Carbon dioxide is what actually moves the oxygen from our red blood cells into the muscles and tissues in our body. So without the right carbon dioxide levels, all we're doing is drowning in our own oxygen and not using it to benefit our bodies. And our bodies actually don't like too much oxygen. It creates oxidative stress, and it can also create respiratory alkalosis, which your cells deteriorate due to too much oxygen, and it's not moving off the red blood cell.
So
So
I
that's
find
just
this
one
really,
case.
yeah, I find this really interesting because I, for me, I don't think I've ever, until I heard you say this the first time, associated with, I mean, it obviously makes sense. Too much oxygen is going to contribute to oxidative damage in the body, right? Free radical damage. But what we hear so much in the natural health world is how important oxygen is to our body. And like now, I mean, in Dallas, there's like oxygen saunas opening up and all these oxygen therapies. And I'm like, is that doing more harm? What are your thoughts on that? Are we getting already too much oxygen and we need to tone that down a little bit? Is there a time and a place for increasing our levels of oxygen? What are your thoughts?
Jen, this is a beautiful question. So I get this question actually pretty often, because when I tell people they don't need to breathe more, they need to breathe less, they're like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
In pranayama, the less you breathe, the longer you live. And that's just how it is. And so these therapies, what they're doing is they're optimizing the oxygen distribution in the body. And so in that form, yes, it is good. And without me going deep into how they actually structure these saunas and these other techniques that are oxygenating your system, I can't give you an honest answer. The thing is, though, is that we're not breathing correctly. And so we're not using our oxygen correctly. So what they're doing is, again, just like America and Americanized everything, they're bypassing the root, and they're going to try and create something to make money, because it's going to help benefit you. And yes, there's a good chance it will benefit you. But the thing is that all you have to do is learn how to breathe, and you can do it for free.
For free, yeah, exactly.
So I have mixed emotions about it, to tell you the truth. I think some of it's good, and technology is good. I think the technology used in the right manners is very good. But the thing that I'm a huge advocate for is empowerment. And I don't want students to keep coming back to my studio. I want them to come back because they want to go deeper, but I want to teach them empowerment on how that they can control and maintain their health, their happiness, their physical and mental health just by breathing, so that they can do it on a daily basis and they can feel like they did it themselves. I'm just here to show people and teach people tools. I'm not here to heal or do anything like that. You're your own healer. You have an inner pharmacy on the inside of you that can be unlocked if you just use the right breathing methods. And it's truly phenomenal that you have an inner pharmacy, because that's the thing, is that pharmaceutical drugs, all they're doing is creating another form of a chemical response inside your body, and they're making money on it. But if you use the right breathing techniques, you can release those chemical responses yourself. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, melatonin, I mean, all of them. They can all be, adrenaline is another one. All of them can be released in your body in a matter of minutes just by breathing.
That is so powerful to think that we have, we can use our breath in such powerful ways. It's totally free to us. I love that. I don't know if it was you or someone else I heard talk about how our breath is, the only autonomic function that we have conscious control over. So let's, we can use that to our benefit. We breathe when we're not thinking about it, right? Because it happens on a subconscious level, but we can tune into our breath, which is what you're teaching us to do, to really optimize our health. And so probably bringing awareness to your breath is step one, like you mentioned. Like, just start to focus on how you're breathing during the day. And I know when I've done this, and sometimes when I still bring awareness to it, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm shallow breathing, I'm chest breathing, or I'm not breathing at all, or I'm breathing through my mouth or whatever. And it's erratic. And like you said, the erratic breath creates just erratic imbalances, in our emotions and our physical health and all these things. And so, so I'd love for you to talk about, so you mentioned like, when you change your breath, when you breathe in certain ways, that can release different neurotransmitters, different chemicals that heal the body. And the mind. And so I have a lot of people, a lot of followers that, are struggling with digestive issues and hormone imbalances. And I know like so much of it is rooted in stress of various forms. And so can you speak at all to how this technique might help restore balance to the digestive system and restore balance to hormones?
Absolutely. And you nailed it. A lot of diseases are created in the digestive system, a lot of them. And a lot of it is created by stress alone. So the thing with breathing, if we're taking in too much oxygen, then the pH levels of our bloodstream become too alkaline. And if they're too alkaline, our bodies are so smart. They are designed to perfection. And so what will happen is the body will see that the pH level is too alkaline. So what it's going to do is it's going to steal acid from somewhere in the body to balance out the pH, because we're too alkaline. We need a little more acid. Where do we produce acid in the body? Stomach. Exactly. So if we have way too much oxygen and we're not using this oxygen properly, which 99% of people are probably saturated with way too much oxygen. So what happens is the body starts stealing acid from the gut, from the digestive system. And now we don't have the proper amount of acid in our digestive system to break down our foods. And this can lead to like leaky gut and a lot of digestive issues that are starting in our digestive system, which then in turn lead to a cascade of negative effects on our ability to break down food. A lot of it is overweight, because we're not breaking down the food properly. Now we're gaining weight rapidly, and we're not getting the right nutrition into our body. So we're always feeling hungry. So now we're overeating. The body's not receptive to the digestion. So we're swelling up. And through this, we become frustrated, angry. Our stress levels increase. Now we're contracting all of the body. All the blood flow is going to the muscles. So that's the other thing, is we need blood flow and energy to go to our digestive system to break down our food, to digest. If our entire body is contracted, and that is when we are shallow breathing or we're super stressed out, we're not maintaining our nervous system and being able to switch the light switch basically off on inside to allow ourselves to digest. All this blood flow is going to all the muscles to keep them alive and to thrive, because they're contracted. Okay? Well, if we're sending all the blood flow to our contracted muscles, where are we not sending it? Our digestive system. And this is the whole thing. And same with the brain. If our entire muscles are contracted and we're in a constant state of stress, then we're draining blood flow from the brain. And we're actually putting all that blood flow into maintaining our stress levels in our body. And this can lead to a lack in cognitive function, memory, creativity decreases. And when we become less creative, we become less motivated, less driven, and we see what's happening, and we become frustrated. And here is now the big cascade. We become angry, resentful, all of these low vibration emotions that now this is the world that we live in, is anger, fear, frustration, and it's something we have full control over. But a lot of it all starts in the digestive system, like you said, and it really just comes down to how you're breathing consciously.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And yeah, over time, yeah, it just spirals into all these other things. So let's say that someone is watching this and is exactly in the place that you just described, right? In terms of their health and their mindset, their outlook on life. This has been going on for years. We're not going to heal our body most likely in one session. So obviously consistency is key. Do you recommend doing this type of breath work daily? And for most of your clients, how long do they do it before they really notice a change in their physical health?
Some, it's absolutely immediate.
Okay.
Absolutely immediate. Because you're optimizing your physiology immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, it takes some time. It can be 3 sessions. It could be 5 sessions. It really all depends. And that's why I really recommend that people join the 21-day protocol. It's a 21-day breathwork course that I teach. And the transformations of students are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I've taught almost 400 students from all over the world, France, Germany, Italy, Africa, America, all over the world. And the transformations are absolutely outstanding. And yes, this is a daily practice, 100%. And that's the other thing is some other breathwork modalities. What they're doing is they're frying your nervous system and you're over-oxygenating your system. So you're activating the limbic part of your brain. And this limbic part of the brain carries your emotions and your memories. And that's why these people are having these wild emotional responses. But this is not having if you were to try and do that daily, I mean, your stress levels would be through the roof, even more than they are now. So what we're doing is we're teaching the science behind it, and this is a daily practice. So 100%. And the more you learn about breathing, you can apply a different breath to different forms of your life. So if I need to boost in energy levels, so I'm getting ready to do a class in here in just a bit on energy levels, energy and vitality. And so we're going to tune. Basically, that's the cool thing is that your body, so you can tune your breath to achieve different things. And so in this class, we're going to raise our heart rate. We're going to increase our blood pressure, and we're going to burst a lot of adrenaline and move a lot of circulation through the body. There's also breaths that are very stimulating on calming yourself down. And so one thing, I tell you what, I highly recommend that you get into this because of the fact that it is a daily routine and a daily practice, and the health benefits are outstanding, and your happiness levels, your health levels. And this is the other thing that I want to tap on real quick too, that when you talked about when I was talking about yoga and how it wasn't working for me, if your body is not ready to be receptive to receive other practices, whether that's the gym, whether it's losing weight, changing your diet, why do you think that people that change their diet don't lose weight sometimes? Because they haven't gone to the core source. And your breath is your core source. That is your life force energy. Without your breath, you have no life. So start from the core. If somebody would have taught me to go breath work first, then my diet, then yoga, then meditation, I would have gone through that lightning fast. But I did it backwards. Yeah. And that's fine. But you need to train your body to be receptive, to receive the nutrients, to receive the endurance or the workout, the training, the weight loss, the new diets. So we need to optimize the physical and the mental health first. And that's what this is going to do, is by doing a daily practice of this, you're only going to become stronger, you're only going to become happier, and you're only going to learn more of the controlling of your own life, which is quite profound and beautiful. And I would love to leave all of you with a little tidbit as well. There's a little, and this is so simple. Jen, can I give them a little nugget?
Please do.
Can I give them a little nugget?
Yes.
Okay. So I could go on for days about this stuff. And the health benefits of each one are really powerful. But we all live in a world that we're swimming in a sea of stress hormones. So when we lived in jungles and a lion, a tiger, a bear would come up, we needed to activate our sympathetic nervous system, our fight or flight, to be able to either run, hide, or fight this animal. But nowadays, we don't live in jungles. We live in concrete jungles. And so we are stressed out from our jobs, our bosses, our deadlines, our calendars, our relationships, the whole 9 yards. And so we are way too our sympathetic nervous system is way too activated, but then we're not doing anything. We're not running. We're not fighting. We're not dispersing of this hormone and these chemicals that are being released in the body, but all we're doing is sitting behind our desk, but we're still having full activation of our sympathetic nervous system. And this is why there's a cascade of negative effects that happen inside of your body. So this little tidbit nugget that I want to give you is really for stress relief. And it is so simple, guys. It is so simple. I'm going to give you two. They're about the same. One's just a variation. So if you're conscious breathing, try and always breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth forever for the rest of your life. Okay? Make sure you breathe into your belly. Don't breathe into your chest. You have more parasympathetic nervous receptors in the lower lobes of your lungs. So when we breathe in through our nose, we warm our air and it helps it drop into the lower lobes. So this is just an easy little thing. Try and be conscious of how you're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe into your belly first. Okay? So if you put your hand on your belly and one hand on your chest, when you breathe, your belly should rise, and then you can open up your chest, and then you can exhale. Okay? And over time, what will happen is it'll become muscle memory. You'll be breathing like this all the time. So here's the thing. If you want to lower your heart rate, lower your blood pressure, and Jen, I love that you talked about blood pressure medicine. You go into a doctor's office, they're wearing a white jacket, you have bright white lights, and you're already nervous about what the doctor's going to tell you. Of course your blood pressure goes up. And what do? They give you blood pressure medicine. Yeah. This is ridiculous.
I know. Yeah, it really is.
So I'm going to teach you guys how to lower your blood pressure, lower your heart rate, and activate your parasympathetic nervous system in a matter of seconds. Actually, you know what? I'll do you one even better. Hold on.
All right, cool. I'm excited. I don't know what's coming.
Okay.
Oh, so, nice. Yes, yes.
I'm going to show you guys with this pulse oximeter that I can lower my heart rate in a matter of seconds.
This is awesome. I've seen this done before. It is so cool to watch. I need to get one of these for myself.
Yeah. And if you guys, I have a video on YouTube and on my Facebook page. I had a resting heart rate of 70 beats per minute. I raised it to 105 in 15 seconds, just sitting.
Wow.
And I lowered it to 52 beats a minute in less than 1 minute. I raised it and lowered it in less than 1 minute.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. So here's the thing. What you want to do is anytime that you extend your exhalation, you are going to be lowering your heart rate, because when we breathe in, heart rate goes up. When we breathe out, heart rate goes down. So again, just being conscious of how you breathe. The other thing is try and breathe in a rhythm. So my recommendation is to breathe in a rhythm of like 2 beats in. So you can even pick a music song that you like, or if you follow the SOMA community or myself, we have music tracks that we
I love y'all's music. SOMA music is awesome. So that's what I recommend.
It's amazing. But what you want to do is you want to breathe in for 2 and out for 4. So it's like, and that's it. That's it. Now, if you're super stressed out and you really can feel the anxiety, then what you want to do is you want to breathe out like you're breathing out through a straw. Okay? So just take a short inhale.
And I think it's interesting, when I feel really stressed, I intuitively do that.
Oh, and like why do you think smokers?
Yeah.
That's why smokers are doing it, because they're...
And it's almost like maybe it's more of the breathing that's used in smoking that's the calming effect, right?
No, it really is.
You don't need all the other chemicals.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I'm pretty ramped up right now and excited. Okay. Yeah. So I'm at, let's see if you guys 99? Can see this. No, that's my oxygen level.
Okay.
So I'm at about 84.
84, okay.
Okay. So just in literally 30 seconds, I can lower this.
Yeah, it's already at 77, 76. That's amazing.
and it's going to fluctuate slightly.
Yeah.
So but literally in 5-10 seconds, I can drop it by 5 or 8 beats a minute.
That's
that
incredible.
quickly. Think if you were to do that for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
10 minutes, you are going to be so calm and relaxed. And now you're turning your switch off. And
Yeah.
so that's my little nugget for you guys. If you're ever feeling tense or stressed, just breathe in through the nose and extend your exhale. And it'll lower the blood pressure and your heart rate almost immediately.
Just like that.
Yep.
And that again is going to activate your rest and digest. So also great for digestive issues, to really stimulate the digestive process as well. So that's amazing. Thank you so much. This has been so informative, and I know people watching are going to want to go check out SOMA now. So where can people find you? And if you want to talk a little bit more about your 21-day program, because I know that is starting next week and I will be part of it. It's going to be so good. So I encourage everyone else to join. But if you want to share a little bit about your website and your program, go for it.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited because I've really stepped into what truly is my passion. And it's not just leading SOMA breathwork sessions. As much as I love doing it, I like to go deep into the things that are going on with people. Because I've gone through such a transformation myself, I speak from a place of authenticity and truth. I'm not reading this stuff in a book and then relaying a message. I've lived it. I've gone through it, and many tears, many headaches, many frustrations, but now it's become many, many joys of laughter and passion. And so this is why I've really stepped into this coaching role over the last few months. And so I just launched my website. It's called breathewithsteve.com. Super easy. breathewithsteve.com.
Yeah.
Thank you. And if you go on there, I actually just put a free meditation on the website last night. So you guys will have access to experience a SOMA breathwork meditation. It'll be a short demo, but you'll be able to experience one round. It'll be about 10 minutes of a SOMA breathwork experience so that you can feel the effects firsthand. But the more you do it, the deeper you go and the better the benefits are going to be. And so if you go and check out the breathewithsteve.com website, you'll see a lot of information. And I still have a lot of content that's going on to there. But this 21-day protocol, I mean, I can't even put words to it. It's so amazing. And again, I've taught almost 400 students over the last year, and it's miraculous. I've had people heal their eyesight. We're actually doing a case study right now because we have 4 people that have healed their eyesight in this 21 days. They literally cannot wear their glasses anymore. People with anxiety, depression, have completely reversed their lives. People have manifested new relationships in their lives. People have manifested new job opportunities, large dollar amounts that they've been working on, investing dollars. I mean, it literally goes all the way around. And so you start with week 1, just doing 20 minutes of breath work each day. And what we do is you tune in online on a video Zoom like this 1 day a week, and I go over the topic of that week. So about like expanding our reality tunnels, finding out what truly makes us happy, what we truly want and who we truly are. And then another week is about channeling the spirits of our mentors and guides, the people that we admire and look up to. But we're going to channel their spirit. We're going to embody their traits. So whether that's better public speaking or better relationships, more patience, whatever, more creativity, whatever you desire, we're going to channel in that spirit and embody it. And then in week 3, it's full body activation, unlocking the SOMA molecule within, which could also be, they're tryptamines. Our body produces tryptamines. And when you go deep enough in SOMA, you can release these tryptamines and have an expanded consciousness experience where you're really connecting with the divine. And this is very, very powerful. So week 1 is 20 minutes every day of breathwork, of SOMA breathwork. Week 2 is 40 minutes of breathwork. And you also have these cool mental visualization exercises that you'll do on the course as well that are really powerful about kind of waking you up. And then week 3 is 60 minutes, 1 hour of breathwork each day for week 3. And this is why we call this course The Awakening, because people just wake up to things that they never thought were possible. Their health shifts. We've had people heal themselves of chronic diseases. I have a woman on my course that I'm leading right now that has a growth in her lung. And she is on the course trying to heal her lungs of this growth. And so far, we're in week 2, and she says she's feeling incredible benefits.
So great. That just gives me chills. I'm super excited to go through the program. I've been doing roughly 10 to 20 minutes of SOMA breath work almost every day. So I'm really excited to take it to the next level and go deep. And I know we're going to do that in your course, so I cannot wait. So I encourage everybody to check out Steve's website, Breathe with Steve. I'll also link your social media there as well, because you can visit him on Facebook and YouTube. And yeah, just really go check it out, get his free meditation, start implementing SOMA, give it a try, see what you think. I think you're going to love it. And I just thank all of you for being here today. And Stephen, thank you so much for taking your time and sharing all of this incredible information with us. It is so powerful. So thank you.
Jen, you're a ray of sunshine and sunlight, and I really, really appreciate this. And it's been such a pleasure meeting you, and I really look forward to you going deeper into your own journey of breath and joining on this upcoming 21-day protocol on October 6th.
Yes.
So, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Hope all of you have a good rest of your day. And until next time, bye everyone.
Oh, do you need to make yourself a host again? Hello?